morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you guys taking some time. We definitely know that there's a lot of things to be doing at Digital Dealer. You could be, listening to one of the other speakers. You could be playing golf, maybe shopping. I don't know, maybe sleeping in a little bit, because I'm sure there's a few people in the room that had too much fun last night. But thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. I promise you that you're not going to be disappointed. We have a great presentation today. We're very excited to be able to share with you how a dealer more than doubled leads with video and paid search. So before we get started, just want to introduce today's panel. My name's Allie Barnhart. For about 5 years now, I've been with L2T working with strategic partnerships, some of our largest accounts. Also have some experience, about 7 years combined experience with some third parties that you've probably heard of, Cars.com and Auto Trader, and also did some time doing the traditional thing at newspaper and Yellow Pages, so if you guys remember those. And then I also have my friend here, Angie, from Google. So Angie's one of the automotive account executives with Google out of the Detroit office. She's been working for about 12 years now with multiple different automotive accounts, including FCA, Ford, Nissan, KBB, a lot of them. But honestly, guys, Angie and I both know that you guys probably aren't here to hear another digital vendor and somebody from Google tell you that you should be using digital marketing, right? You've probably heard it already at least 10 times at Digital Dealer. More importantly, it's really about David Kelleher here. He's the owner and president of David Auto. I'm going to let David share a little bit about his background.
Thanks. So good, this thing works. Yeah, I'm a car dealer. I have the greatest job in the world as far as I'm concerned. I'm a car dealer. It's great. And in 1992, I needed to make some money to try to go back to law school. And I read an ad in the paper that said, make $50,000 a year selling cars. It sounded like a lot of money. I didn't think it was probably true. And I went and I sold my first car, and it was a Toyota Camry. I'll never forget it. The Joneses. Literally, their name was the Joneses. And they were clients for quite some time. Unfortunately, they both passed away. But, and it was the greatest feeling I ever had. In 2005, I had the opportunity, with money I had saved, plus some help from Chrysler Corporation, to buy my own dealership. The dealership sold 46 cars a month for the past 12 months. Before I bought it, the first month we sold 126 cars. And I fell in love with being a car dealer. Having to work as hard as I did, because I didn't have any backup, it was always my money in it, I always try to stay ahead of the curve. I think that's what we're going to talk about today, is how you get ahead of the curve. In 2005, shortly after I opened up my dealership, I opened up the first BDC in my region, I think. I didn't even know what business development was. I learned about it. And now everybody has it, and you should. So we're going to talk today about some stuff we're doing that I think is on the cutting edge with my friends from Google and L2T, and that we've really enjoyed the success of. And that's why I took the opportunity. I learned a lot from listening to other much brighter car dealers than me. A couple of them are in the room today. And I thought maybe I could share a little bit with you guys and help your business, because I think that's how we all get better. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah, thanks. So we all know that right now we're currently in a changing marketplace. 2018, also going into 2019, we've seen auto sales flatten, definitely for some brands more than others. But it's really what that brings us to for dealerships is it brings us to a point that we need to make sure that our marketing is not only effective, but also the most cost-efficient marketing that we can possibly do for the dealership. So again, today what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about how David and his team collaborated with both L2T Media and Google just to ensure that he's really on the right track and staying ahead of the curve. So the agenda for today, David's going to share a little bit about his auto group, his success in the last 4 years, kind of his digital evolution. Then I'm going to jump in and kind of pick up the hood of the car and look at the mechanics a little bit. We'll take a look at the video strategies, and then Angie will also end with just talking a little bit about how to support it with paid search. Really, the most important thing is that we want to show you the proof behind that this stuff actually works at the dealership level, but then we also want to enable you with the tools to actually go back to your dealership so you can take it to your team and implement this and have similar success. But before we get started, we're actually going to show a case study with Google. So really cool story here is that David was actually doing a phenomenal job with video in general before really L2T and even Google got involved. So Google actually came after David to say, hey, you're doing some great stuff. You're using some best practices. We want to do a case study about you. So we're actually going to share that case study now, and I think it's a great start to all the other great information that we're going to share with you today.
To me, it's always been about more than selling cars. David Auto is a part of this community, and every year I invest more and more to grow it. This is my home. Over the years, I've tried virtually every approach to marketing. Gone are the days of billboards and radio and direct mail. I don't talk about price. I don't talk about events. I simply go out there and explain who I am and why I believe I'm the best choice for them, and the customers react to it incredibly positively.
We believe that video is just so important. It's the perfect way for us to connect with our customers. YouTube has allowed us to extend our reach to the right audience. We've shifted most of our budget from broadcast to digital because our buyers are younger and younger, and the best way for us to connect with them is through digital video.
The beautiful thing about YouTube is I'm speaking to the people that are interested in my message. And I think the cost per view is significantly lower than we're accustomed to paying out in the broad market. Last year, in a declining market, I increased my profits by 37% with digital and video. I spent less money and sold more cars than I have in 25 years. It's a powerful medium to market your business.
A car is not just a car. It's part of their family. Their kids grow up in the vehicle. It's transportation to go on a fishing trip, to their little league. So it's not just a car.
When you connect with a customer, it means a great deal. Their eyes light up in a way. I know we've done our job.
Yeah, it's a nice piece, right? Google filmed that at our store for a couple of days. We hosted them, and it was really about how we just took everything, right? Regular advertising, conventional advertising, community work. I'm wearing a Sixers outfit right now, and I'm proud of my team, the Sixers, although we got our asses handed to us last night. I'm wearing it because when I leave here, I'm going to run to the airport and catch a plane because I have to be home tonight. We play our last regular season game. It's Fan Appreciation Night, and the Sixers have asked me to ring our bell. If you're from Philadelphia, you know about it. We ring the Liberty Bell before every game, and they usually take someone famous. The last game, Bryce Harper, our new outfielder, rang it. Allen Iverson, the governor, the mayor, pretty important people. They asked me to do it. I've been famous for a long time in Philly, but the last 3 years, because of video and YouTube, I've gotten kind of real famous. I mean, I didn't do anything good. I just sell cars for a living. I'm kind of a nice guy. But I got famous because everybody knows who I am. Everywhere I go, if I walk down the street, 30 people say hello to me. And it's because of this, because of what we did with this. And that's what we're going to get into a little bit. A little bit more about myself is, again, started by myself. We sell just under 3,000 cars a year. I have 92 employees. We make a decent amount of money. And I've been chairman of the National Dealer Council for Chrysler in 2012. I'm currently on the National Dealer Council, and I'll be chairman again in 2021. So I stay relatively civically involved. I mean, this is my industry, like it is for so many of you guys, and I love being in it. But what we're doing right now is fun. I don't know that it'll be what we're doing tomorrow, but it should be what you're doing today. That's my store. It's a pretty special place to me. We renovated it a couple of years ago. So today I'm going to start off by telling you, I've sat in a million of these meetings like you guys have. Always looking for what's the next big thing. How can I figure out how to get better? But what I don't remember ever sitting in is actually something that proved to you up front that it works. So we're going to go backwards today. I'm going to explain to you from the dealer point of view how this has worked for me over the last 18 to 24 months. And then the people who sell their stuff, they're going to tell you how they did it for me. Now it's funny, a couple of my friends from my 20 group are here, and the other day when we had a 20 group meeting about 3 weeks ago, and they said to me, hey Dave, we heard you're speaking of digital dealer. Tell us about what you've been working on. And I was like, well, I do a lot of stuff with my L2T. They've been a great partner. They brought in Google. We got even better. They're like, yeah, but what are you doing? I don't know. I don't really know what I do. And that's an honest answer. I'm not all that interested in that. I don't want to know how to aggregate search. I don't want to know how to pick the right words. In fact, I would probably screw it up. I have a job to do. I'm a car dealer. I need to sell cars. I need to take care of clients and employees. These are the guys that do the right work. And L2T has been a remarkable partner for me. Maybe they're your partner too. Maybe they're not. Maybe you'll find someone. But your job, as I'm going to show you, is to make sure that you know how to read the numbers. You know how to read the tea leaves and make sure they're doing their job. So I'm going to show you how I reallocated my marketing dollars. I'm then going to show you, after I reallocated, how the lead volume came in. then actually how it translated to sales, and then the only most important thing we do every day, which is to make money. I'm going to show you how that affected that. I spent less money advertising, sold more cars, made more money. That's a positive formula, right? That's one that, whether you're a dealer in this room or you're someone that works for a dealer, that's your job, is to sell more cars and spend less money doing it. If you can do that, you do well. So I'll show you that end. And then at some point, I'll turn it over to Allie and Angie, and they'll show you how they did it for me, and they give you kind of the bean counter view of what they did, the geek stuff, because it's not inside of me. I don't really know exactly all the metrics. So in 2015, I was spending about $125,000 a month in advertising. Real number, $125,000 a month. Of that, the breakdown was $43,000 in television, $24,000 in digital, and $57,000 in what we'll call other. Mail, newspaper, radio, billboards, silly stuff, church bulletins, all the stuff people ask you for that just makes sense, so you spend it. In 2016, you're going to see a real change. The TV went up, the digital went down significantly, and the other went down. And I'll tell you what happened. I'm going to show you about mid-year of 2015, I had kind of an epiphany. And we rebranded our whole thing. We stopped doing conventional TV advertising, which I'll give you a peek at, and we went to a branding method. I don't speak about price, I don't speak about, and it really got successful quickly. So we allocated more money to TV. I also realized that I had accepted everybody's offer for $39.95 a month. Spend $39.95, $29.95, $19.95, $59.95 on this kind of digital, and we'll sell more cars. So I just said yes. And you know the companies, right? They all come to you guys. They all have this quick fix, just pay us this, and we'll provide this. And I looked and I said, I don't think any of this works. Everybody in my showroom sees me on TV. So I'm just going to cut it all. And I went down to $7,250, which was basically just SEO, SEM. And that's all I did. And then I cut out a bunch of the other stuff. By 2017, it was working so well, and I only spent $93,000 that year. That's a savings of over $30,000. And I sold more cars. And then I went to 108 because I brought digital back into play. I met these guys. Thanks, Tom Lamax in the room. He's the head of global digital for FCA, for Chrysler. Tom and I were arguing one time, and he said, how much money do you spend on digital? I said, I'm spending about $8,000 a month on digital. He said, what? You're one of the biggest dealers in the country. How are you spending $8,000 on digital? I don't trust any of it, I said. He said, what's your problem? I said, I don't know how it works. I don't think it works for me, so I just cut it out. He said, well, we got to fix that. He said, who's your agency? I said, I don't have one. Well, how do you coordinate with Google? I said, I don't know. I pay dealer.com. I don't know. He goes, well, let's get you. So he introduced me L2T, and my life changed. And we really started to spend real money on digital. And then, as you can see, in 2018, the other is almost gone. That's one piece of credit mail we do per month, either Cap One or Chrysler Capital. That's it for other. The rest of the money is all digital and television now. And because my brand has become so big, I actually reduced my television costs. All 3 networks in Philadelphia want me to be on TV, so they give me great rates that I argue about myself. I don't have to pay a vendor. And I spend $64,000 to cover the entire network. And then the rest of it is to catch that with digital. These are some of the things we got rid of, and these are interesting to you. Cable TV, worthless, just go broadcast. Third-party site listing, you know them, the endemics, the people you got to pay to sell your own car. Well, I thought I had to. And you know the companies, again, I'm not supposed to name cars.com. You're not supposed to say anything, but, you know, Car Gurus, well, they're here. No, I'm not supposed to name them. I'm not going to name any more illustrators. So anyway, you know those guys. And you pay them, they take your car, the one you own, the one you paid for, and you put it out there so that they put it out there so you can sell it yourself. It's ridiculous. These guys taught me how I didn't have to do that anymore. Now I just sell my own car. I do their job. And I come up first in listings because, gosh darn it, it's my car. I come up before they do. They taught me how to do that. I got rid of it. The marketing agencies, they get 10% for everything they do and don't get you that great a deal. They're gone. Website provider, SEO. Don't do your, well, I'm not going to say it. Do your SEO with who you want to do. For me, I was doing it with my website provider. They're website providers. Now these guys do my SEO, and we kill it. Billboards, again, I had a billboard for 8 years. I could never get rid of that billboard. I own it, it's mine. Oh my God, God forbid anybody else ever went up on that billboard. It's gone. And guess what? I didn't sell one less car, I sold more cars. Right? Nobody cared about that billboard. I go by that billboard every day. I'm so angry I spent all that money for so many years. It's not it. That doesn't sell cars. Radio, newspapers, church bulletin, local magazines, they're all gone. Okay, so here's a graph that shows you the spending money against leads. So that $125,000 you see here, this big, huge pillar of money I spent, was getting me 252 leads a month in 2015. So you see the blue is the lead count, that's way down here, and the 125 is way up here. When we made that change, and it was a branding change, and it's crazy, and we're gonna show you that. You're gonna see how I changed my commercials. I'm gonna take you to the old commercial that I used to do that everyone else does, to the new one. All of a sudden we jumped. This was just on branding from 252 to 432, and we spent less money, like I said. In 2017, when we really realized that this model worked, finally met these guys, we went up to 108, and the lead count jumped to 516. We went back down to 101, as I showed you, and then finally the lead count, it went past the spend. And now, last year we did 734 leads. This year I'm up over 800 leads a month right now, and I project to spend, last month we did 843 leads and 130 designated sales phone calls, and I'm only spending $97,000 a month, and I expect to table off right around there. Oh wait, now how did it translate to sales? We talked about leads, right? Leads don't make money. Conversion of leads do. Now I have one problem right now. I have too many leads. Is that a problem that many people have in the room? So at 800 leads a month, I have 4 trained BDC executives and 1 manager. That was meant to do for 500 leads. It doesn't work for 800 leads. So we're hiring as quickly as we can because they're underwater, and we're probably losing some effectiveness. But nonetheless, we're selling a lot of cars. In 2015, I sold 2,143 cars. See, my used car total was only 477, 1,666 new. In 2016, we grew pretty rapidly, and we gained some more used car share and went up to 2,367 cars. In 2017, we sold over 2,600 cars, and we placed down to 8th. So in 2015, I started as the 17th biggest dealer in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center. Washington, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and there's 288 dealers. I was 17th, not bad, right, respectable. By 16, I had gone down to 13. That means one thing, I'm not interested in sales trophies, I'm interested in gaining share. When I go to 13, it means I gained share. In 17, we went down to 8th in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center. Last year, I finished as the 6th highest volume dealer in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center out of 292 dealers. And now, right now through this year, we're 5th in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center. Kind of rarefied air. It's a lot of dealers, right? And we've gained our share. Again, not interested in trophies, but I sold 2,760 cars, and the market is supposed to be flattening. Everybody's scared. A lot of people complaining. I'm up 12% this year. You know, I'm not complaining because I think there's plenty of business. We're at a 17 million czar. So don't buy into that. Don't buy into the fact that you're slow because the market's not there. It's 17 million czar. We could table at 17 million for a million years. We'd all be very, very happy. You need to find your sales if you're not. And we have. Most importantly, it goes to net profit. Now, I'm not going to show you real numbers here, but in 2015, this is where the Mid-Atlantic Business Center average dealer was, and I was here. Now, this is a respectable number, mind you, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great. When we started to make these moves, I went by them, and I plateaued them in 16. They went down, I went up. In 17, I went up even further. That's the 37% gain that we talked about on that video. And last year, we tabled it at right around the same amount of money. More money than I ever made before, and I expect to make a lot more this year. So the old way was every ad has to have price, right? It has to have an event, urgency. Got to come to me right away, www.drivedavid.com. You got to have an address. You got to have a phone number. Well, I lost it. One day I woke up. I was going to film a new commercial. Well, actually, I'll show you, first of all, the old way. Because I did everything I was supposed to do,
You know,
right?
it's hard to believe, but this is our 10th anniversary. And while so much has changed over those 10 years, one thing has never changed, and that's the way I do business. I stock more cars and I sell them cheaper than anyone else will. So to celebrate, I'm slashing all of Chrysler's specials by $20. You can lease a Dodge Durango for $269 a month, or a Dodge Journey for $219 a month. It's only at David Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram, Route 202 in Glen Mills. Hey, come celebrate and save some money.
Boy, I shudder when I see that anymore. You know, but that's the ad, right? It's what everybody does. You got to have an event. You got to have a 10th anniversary. I'm going to save. I couldn't lie. I never could lie in this business. So I just took Chrysler's specials, the one they were advertising, and I said, I'm going to slash them by $20. It was honest. A bunch of crap because down Chrysler has a little thing that says $39.95 down. And I took 2 cars, and I want you to think about that. I spent a bunch of money advertising 2 cars, a Durango and a Journey. I sell 27 different vehicles. So I'm advertising to only people that want to buy a Durango and a Journey, right? Or maybe just money grab. But I sell 27 vehicles. Why am I doing that? Taking 30 seconds and a whole bunch of money to do that. So one day I wake up, I'm going to film, and by the way, 42 views on YouTube. Woo! Viral, right? Crazy, right? My SEO must be going through the roof with that marketing campaign. So now I wake up one morning and I'm getting ready to go film a new commercial. I'm really not settled on what I'm going to do. And one of my competitors is on TV, and he's got $89 a month for a Wrangler. I slow it down, I blow it up, I see $10,000 down, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I got to get off this train. I just can't do it. So I had an epiphany, and it was right before I was about to go on vacation. I was going to go down the beach, relax with my family, and I said, you know what, I'm going to film this ad. It's going to come from my heart. It's never going to work. When I come back from the beach, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with my next ad, but we'll do it and run it. And I did this.
I don't understand today's car ads. I don't know how you could. So here's my ad. I have 925 cars available as of this morning. And if I don't have what you want, I'll have it in 48 hours. I want you to email me personally, and I'll give you a real price. While it may be my opinion, I have the best facility in the country, and I have the best staff in the country. It's simple. You like Chryslers and Jeeps and Dodges and Rams, right? Everybody does. And you want great prices. You want value for your family. And that's all I do.
And it came from my heart. It's really what I meant. And I put my name out there, right? I told them to email me. Well, I'm on the beach, and my phone just blows up. I mean, it goes crazy. I'm answering emails like crazy. I call back to the store. I said, man, you won't believe this. I'm getting a bunch of emails. They go, Dave, we've gotten 27 ourselves direct today. The store went crazy. People reacted amazingly to it. I told them I sell a bunch of good cars. Chrysler, Jeeps, Dodge, and Rams. You might like one. If you do, I'll give you a price. Simple enough, right? That works for me. I'm not here to teach you how to market yourself. It's important you figure out how to market yourself. What's your attribute? Is it location? Is it size? Is it strength? Is it price? What's your attribute? Take that to the market. Don't go and do this. Some of my competitors tried to do this. It failed for them miserably. They tried to do the same thing. They think it's great. I just was myself, and I continue to be myself. Then when this message started to take off, and we're selling a whole bunch of cars, and really people liked me, and it felt so good, I realized that TV only accounted for 40% of video views. And this is an important message. TV, which was a huge bear for us, 100% of the market, only accounted for 40% of television TRP views. The rest of it's digital. It's stream, it's YouTube, it's digital. So now I got to go find this. And then Tom and I get together. Oh, by the way, that nice ad that I did there, that was 8,000 views on YouTube. Now I take this one, and I made this simply for pre-roll. Now, pre-roll gets you a view, by the way. So when you run a pre-roll view, you're actually getting an organic view, and you're marketing yourself to a customer that's targeted. This is a person that shows some interest in your car, and you're putting it in front of them. So I went to YouTube pre-roll with L2T, and they remarkably put me in a bunch of customers, and then I created something special, and I did this.
Hey, I get it. You want to watch a video, and I'm in your way. But if you're looking for a car, you might want to hang around a second. Hey, I've sold a lot of cars in 25 years doing one thing. I listen. So all you have to do is come in and talk to us. 752 new cars, 150 beautiful used cars. Whatever it is you need, I probably have it. Look, cars are commodities. I can get them. It's people I love. That's what fuels me. We listen to you. Maybe that's why I've always been your dealer. You just didn't know it.
That's my slogan now. I said at the end of a commercial, everybody in the room freaked out, and we kept it. And now when I go to a ball game or walk down the street in Philadelphia, everyone goes, "You're my dealer. You're my dealer. You've always been my dealer. I just didn't know it." At the airport, it's crazy, right? But that's my slogan at the end of anybody. Is anybody in here from the Philadelphia area? Yeah? Have you ever seen it? My commercial? You have? I've always been your dealer, right? You just didn't know it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, we're going to fix that. We'll take care of it. All right. Maybe you come work for me. Work with me, huh? So, yeah, I mean, it's made me incredibly I'm going to ring the bell tonight at the Sixers game. This is ridiculous. I haven't cured cancer or anything. I mean, I sell cars. But I'm a kind of a nice guy. And that video had 313,000 views on YouTube. You don't see that a lot with car dealer ads, right? So then I had another epiphany because people were coming up to me, and this really, truly happened. The story that I tell in this commercial honestly happened. I got so full of myself, advertising me and selling cars, doing it, that I forgot a couple things, and this commercial talks about it.
So I'm at the airport the other day, and this wonderful lady comes up to me, and she says, "I see you on TV all the time. What is it you sell?" I thought, That's kind of an important question. Well, I sell probably the best family vehicle ever made. I sell big Jeeps and little Jeeps and every Jeep in between. I sell Jeeps that just make you say, wow. I sell Ram trucks you can drive with, pull, push, load, and some that are just for your business. And I sell Dodges that race and make your heart race. That's the answer to that question. If any of that gets you as excited as it gets me every day when I pull on my lot, then I've always been your dealer, and you just didn't know it.
Yeah, I forgot to sell cars. Kind of important, you know? But I told that story. It's a true story. A lady came up to me at the airport, and it actually happened to me a couple of times. I told that true story, and that video, look it up, 1 million views. 1 million, so I think it was 1,086,000 views yesterday when I looked it up. I'm about to eclipse 1.1 million views. It's a car dealer's ad. 1 million views on YouTube. I mean, aren't you supposed to send me a check for that or something, you know? Yeah, 1 million views. So anyway, those are the results, okay? And it's been wonderful. My team loves it. I have to get into the store more than I like because the customers really want to meet me and they buy cars, and we're packed all the time. We're packed. Leah, my CFO, is here. Are we packed all the time? Packed all the time. And we have fun. But it really changed my life when we got into video. When we got the video out into the internet and attacked that extra 60% of people, that's when it changed everything. So now you guys want to tell them how it works? Because
Sure.
I don't know. All right? Thank you.
So now we get to the geeky stuff, guys. So we're going to talk about the video portion now. So, you know, again, David's been so gracious to kind of share his story. He's shown you, again, we're kind of going backwards a little bit. He's shown you how it shows in sales. It increases sales, it increases traffic, it increases ultimately sales, and even better profitability. Now we're going to tell you guys what was the strategy behind it. I think, you know, that's a very important component. So one of the things about digital is that we know that digital marketing, the car shopper today is going through a pretty long journey. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but the great thing about video marketing is that we can actually touch that consumer throughout that entire car shopping process. And you know, David mentioned it, the cost efficiency of it too is amazing. And we'll show you some numbers too to prove that. But of course it's digital dealer, so we have to show you some flashy statistics. So if you want to take some screenshots of this. We know people are on YouTube. I'm not going to read through all these. But we know that people are on YouTube. We know that in-market shoppers, auto shoppers are on YouTube. We know that people are there. So the most important thing for a dealership, especially in this time, is that we need to make sure that your messaging, all that branding that David just talked about, we need to make sure it's in front of the right people. So that's really where YouTube is so, so powerful. But the really cool thing is that we saw the impact of all of this marketing and branding that David was doing offline and online. We saw the impact at the dealership, but the really, really cool thing is that there was actually an impact on his just overall search online. So I think that we all know that branding, offline, online, all ultimately drives traffic or search interest online, on Google. So what we want to do is we wanted to show you this is because there are thousands. So this is for the Philadelphia DMA. I mean, all you guys know, Philadelphia is one of the top cities. So there's a lot of people. There's thousands and thousands of searches conducted on a daily basis for new cars. And this shows the evolution the last 4 years that David talked about with just his transition in strategy. This shows that evolution of how much his search, how much his name came up more frequently in ad queries in the Philadelphia DMA. So again, this is when he stopped traditional. We saw it plummet a little bit. Then we brought it back up, and there was 14% improvement in search rank in 2 years over the previous 2 years. And then we really amped it up when we started to partner with David. We weren't only doing the offline TV ads, we were also doing online video. We actually saw an increase another 11%. So as of in 2018, out of these thousands and thousands of new car searches that occur in the Philadelphia DMA, David has consistently been appearing in the top 200 searches in Philadelphia. I think we're going to take some credit that online branding is definitely helping to do that. So just to show you some specifics, this is actually most recent. Now, since again, we've implemented even additional strategies, even starting in 2019, which we're going to share with you. He's actually moved to the top 150. I think the exact number is 130 some in the top searches in Philadelphia DMA. So again, just a tremendous and powerful message here that, yeah, it helps at the dealership level, but we're also seeing the impact online.
Yeah, you know what, when they showed me this meant an awful lot to me, because if you look there, there was a couple other car dealers I think represented, but these are real things. They're running Mercedes-Benz, right? Kia, Telluride. They're running cars, they're running car terms. There's not a lot of dealers there. I'm a single point Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram dealer, and we show up, in the size of it shows you like kind of where it ranks. I mean, you see the endemic right in the middle there, who's buying our cars and selling them for us, and I think they spend a pretty good amount of money with you, don't they?
Yeah, they might.
They might, yeah. I know that's proprietary information, but again, with us paying for it. But I really love that we were able to climb up with all the dealerships in the Philadelphia DMA and be one of the few that actually have their name searched in the top 150.
Yeah, and even more impressive too. So this is actual impact on David Dodge. So people actually going online and searching for David Dodge in the Philadelphia DMA. We saw a 59% increase in queries over the past 3 years. I mean, this is phenomenal, guys. I mean, you can see that trend line just continuing to go up. So what's the secret behind all this success? So again, we have this fantastic message. You know, David's got a great brand in the market. I'm from the Philly area. I've known who David was for years now. So it's pretty exciting to work with him now. But the strategy behind the success, the key points is with video advertising, you're able to strategically target the ads. You know, you don't have to waste dollars on wasted viewers or people that aren't in market to buy a car. So these are just some of the details. You know, we were efficiently targeting specific FCA intenders. In addition to that, competitor brands. We all know that one of the biggest challenges is that you're not necessarily always just losing sales to the other same brand down the street. You're losing it to the other brand across the street. That's one of the biggest challenges that dealers are seeing. So this enables us to target those people too. So we use various different types of targeting, and then also the effective creative. So these are the ABCDs of effective creative. I think Dave nails it out of the park on all 4 of these on his videos. But I think more importantly, one of the things that we often hear from a dealer is, I don't have the resources to make a video. I don't have the money to make a video. Well, guess what, guys? I mean, you saw Dave's videos. It's very much just like him talking to the camera. They can be organic, they can be creative, and honestly, there are also other resources out there that you can make a very good video, an effective video. So definitely, you know, don't make that your reason why you're not doing video advertising.
Yeah, let me speak to that too, because everyone's interested in numbers. I spend about $1,500 per commercial to film those. I have a great guy that does it, he edits it, and it costs $1,500. Now we all have $1,500 to spend. But again, I want to be very clear here. You need to find your message. It's very important. Your store has a brand. It has its own DNA. You need to find your DNA and why it's important to the consumer. But you get that on video in the right way, and it works. But cost shouldn't be a problem.
And then what were the results? So again, geeky stats here, guys. These are the main KPIs that us digital marketing people are going to look at as far as success. I mean, obviously we saw the success on the dealership level, but this is what we look at too. And I think just the key points here are over 830,000 impressions and over 400,000 views. And again, going back to that targeting, these are actually people who are in market to buy a car and buy a specific brand. And not only that, it's also targeted to very specific zip codes and areas that we know David sells cars. How many people are running television that they have to buy multiple areas just to be able to cover maybe their smaller portion? That's the power of video. You can get so honed in and so targeted. And really, you know, the view-through rate, that's another cool KPI that we use. The average view-through rate for automotive from Google, so our friends at Google, is 34.5%. Right now, David's is at 48%, but most recently, we actually just checked the numbers, and we were talking about this last night, that David actually has a view-through rate of over 80%. I don't think the Googlers here have even seen an over 80% view-through rate. So again, it really speaks to just the power of the creative and the messaging that we're getting out there in front of consumers.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think that we've ever seen a view-through rate that high. When we opened up the account and looked at that, we were like, wait, what is this wrong? So it is pretty amazing as a result. It is right.
It is right.
It is right.
And then I think just more importantly, you know, we talked about how, And David really honed in about how he has made more money and spent less on advertising. Well, why is that? When you're paying 4 cents per view on video, that's a pretty inexpensive, effective way to get your brand out there. And I think that that's key here. I mean, guys, you can get a ton of views, you can get a ton of traffic to the website, and you're not spending a ton of money. And then lastly, we're always, digital's always changing. We're always testing some things. So David said that we could share some of the things that he's testing right now, so you guys can't leave and tell everybody else. But some of the new things that we're doing in Q1 right now in 2019 is we're testing some bumper ads, and I'll tell you what those are in a minute. We're also doing some more model-specific ads and true view for action testing. So what are those things? Bumper ads is a 6-second skippable ad. You may have seen them online. Automotive has kind of been late to the game doing these. Non-skippable. And these are by cost per thousand versus cost per view. What's great about these is this is basically just teasing the idea. And I'm going to show this to you really quick.
Why do you keep getting stuck in the snow when I've always been your Jeep dealer?
So that's the 6-second bumper ad, and then right after.
Why would you possibly still be getting stuck in snow? Right now, I have 441 Jeeps in stock that can make sure you never get stuck in snow again. And I have little Jeeps and big Jeeps and all the Jeeps that are in between. Jeeps from $20,000 all the way to $70,000. Believe me, I have the right Jeep for you. And just like that, you'll be done getting stuck in the snow or anywhere else. Because I'm David, and I've always been your Jeep dealer. You just didn't know it.
So again, 6-second teaser ad, follow-up 30-second, 30-second ad right after with the full message. And then lastly, the next thing that we're testing right now is the True View for Action. This is actually an ad type on YouTube that you can actually optimize the campaign based on the action that you want the consumer to take. So what's great about this is this is just specific to Ram trucks and pickups. So all the targeting is just based on pickups. The video message is on pickups. And ultimately what we want the consumer to do is we want them to click on that shop now and view all of David's Ram truck inventory online. So this is another thing that we're testing right now. We're pretty excited about it. If you guys are interested, this is fairly new, I think, for Google. So we're excited to see the results of that. But that's most of the stuff for video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to my friend Angie here from Google, and she's going to talk about all the paid search stuff.
All right, thank you. Okay, so David and Allie both just did a great job of demonstrating how you can really create a lot of the right kind of interest in your product by making that move into online video. And that's fantastic. I mean, that's what we want. We want interest. But all of the interest in the world is going to do you no good if you're not able to capture it and turn it into sales. So I'm going to bring it home for you today by talking a little bit about what Google recommends and what Dave actually did to convert your interest into sales. So we know by the research that uploading your automotive videos online isn't just a way to entertain your car shoppers until they can make it into your dealership. They actually take action after watching your videos. So check out the top 3 actions that car shoppers take. The first one, they walk into your store. Second, they look at your inventory. And third, they'll actually go online and search for more information. So these are the right kinds of actions we want car shoppers to take. These are the actions that will convert into those leads and sales. So I want to hone in for a moment on that third point right there, searching more online. So when we look, for example, at how David's results look, he really increased his video presence, so he had increased his video budget, and that obviously resulted in a ton more video views. But what it also did for him was it helped him see an increase of 15% on searches for his dealership. So while video drives interest, the important thing to do is capture it. And where we can see it captured is in search lift. So if you see more people searching on Google after watching your video, that's how you know that that video is successful. So it's really important that when you upload a video to YouTube or another platform, that you really coordinate your efforts with search. It would really be a shame if you spent all of this time and money producing a great video, and then forgot about search. So when you upload a video, you'll want to start a search campaign that represents what you were trying to do and say in that video. So make sure that you're bidding on keywords that represent your dealership and that represent the vehicles that you're talking about in your video. Because again, if you forget about search after you run this wonderful video, then you'll generate all of this great interest, and it's possible that one of your competitors might get that interest if you're not there to capture it yourself. And so while we're on the subject of search, because I'm from Google, and of course we like to talk about search nonstop all day long, we're going to talk a little bit more about a new search strategy that we're really looking hard at Google, because we feel that this is the way forward for dealers to capture the best interest online. It's also a search strategy that L2T and David have been employing in order to capture the best interest for their video efforts. We call this micro moments. Has anyone heard this term? It's been going around a lot lately. Okay, a couple people. Micro moments is just talking about reaching the right shoppers at the right time. In those moments when people reach for their device to answer a question they have right then. Because that's how we're all searching now, isn't it? Nobody, plans to go get online and do research at 4 p.m. and, they go turn on their computer. That's not how we do it, right? We have a question, we pick up our phone, we do a Google search. So imagine that there's a woman sort of walking down the sidewalk and she's in market for a new sedan. She likes something kind of cool and flashy, and all of a sudden she sees this car just whiz past her and she thinks, wow, like, that's a really great vehicle. I wonder what that is. And she picks up her phone and does a Google search. That's an automotive shopping moment. It turns out that that car was actually a Maserati Ghibli, and so maybe her heart sinks a little and she's like, oh God, I can't afford that kind of car. But she's like, you know what, I'm going to take a look. And so she picks up her phone again and she searches Maserati Ghibli price. That's another automotive shopping moment. So these are all moments when people are trying to answer a question, and you can be there to have a conversation with them. So we have actually looked at every single automotive query that exists out there on Google, and we have put them into one of 5 buckets. And I'm going to show you these buckets, which we call the micro moment buckets, and show you where you can be really playing to have the best impact. So first we have one which is called, which car is best? Now these are people who are just starting their research. Maybe they know they need a pickup truck, but they have no idea what's even out there, what the pricing is, what the payload is, anything like that. So these are people who are maybe looking for something like Ford or Honda or best new SUV. These are more generic terms. This is followed by, is it right for me moments? Now these are people who are starting to narrow down their search. Maybe they've landed on a vehicle they're interested in. They just need to know if it works for them. So these will be make model searches, things like Honda Accord or Ram 1500, and anything that features specs. Maybe someone's looking for safety features or best miles per gallon. Any searches that have features are going to be in, is it right for me? Now we're moving a little bit more down a funnel, and we've got, can I afford it moments? All right, this one's a little bit self-explanatory, right? Someone wants to know if they've found a car they like, they just want to know if they can afford it. These are going to be pricing searches. This is followed by, am I getting a deal? Now the person knows what vehicle they want, they just want to get it cheaper. So these are any searches that include deals, offers, incentives, sales event. And finally, we have where should I buy moments. And these are people who are definitely ready to pull the trigger. They just want to figure out which dealership to purchase from. So this is where it's most important for you to play, because this is where you capture that shopper or not. So this is bidding on keywords that might include your dealership name, anything with a city term, so something like Toyota Dealer Detroit, or anything that has a dealer or dealership term on it, like Honda Dealer Near Me. Now, all of these buckets are important, but some of them are more important than others, especially for dealers. And the reason is that in these buckets here, which we call the ready-to-buy buckets, this is where people are really making their decision and they're more likely to convert or fill out a lead for you. So when you are prioritizing your search budgets, and no one has an unlimited budget, so we have to sort of pick and choose, these are the buckets that you're going to want to concentrate on because those are the buckets that are going to give you the best results. Now, to demonstrate this a little better for you, we've sort of put this together in a chart, and I'm going to walk you through this chart because there's a lot of numbers on it. But basically, here we have the 5 micro moments, and the bottom 3, the ready to buy, are here at the bottom. Next to that, we have the breakout of impressions that these serve on Google, meaning where do most people search, right? You get a lot of impressions up here, maybe fewer here. Next to that, we have the average dealer investment across the automotive industry. So this is where dealers are currently spending their search budgets. And then we have conversion rates by bucket. So what I want you to notice here is that even though most of the impressions serve up here in which car is best and is it right for me, those aren't necessarily the best performing buckets. It's normal that there would be a lot of searches there because there are a lot of Google searches for things like car or Ford or something that's very generic and high level. However, those don't tend to convert as well because people aren't ready to buy a car at that point. Check out instead where to buy. Even though only 10% of impressions serve here, it gets 66% of all conversions. So if you're prioritizing your search budgets and you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, and you really want to make sure that the person that you generated interest in comes into your dealership, you're going to want to concentrate your efforts here. So just to sort of sum up here, it's really, really important that you coordinate your efforts. You want to have an online video presence today. It's super important because more and more car shoppers are going to platforms like YouTube, not just to watch videos, but to actively research their next vehicle. But that's only half the battle. You also have to make sure you have a coordinated search strategy so that when those people start to search for you, you're there to capture that interest. Otherwise, you'll just lose them. And then when you're looking at your search strategy, again, you want to make sure that you're there in the right moment with the right keyword for the right shopper at the right time. That's going to really help you be like David and capture that interest that you're creating with fantastic videos. So, I think we're about out of time here, so I have a couple key takeaways that we just want you to take back to your dealership after you leave Digital Dealer. If you can remember 3 things, remember these. First, you really want to, again, coordinate your strategies. Try video. If you haven't, upload your videos online. If you have TV commercials, put them there. Make your own videos and use a combination of those videos and search strategies to bring in interested shoppers. Next, think about the micro moments. Think about what an actual car shopper is going to be typing into Google that makes them more likely to convert into a sale for you, and concentrate your efforts there. And third, just like David showed you, you have to test this stuff. You have to find your own brand. You have to know what works for you, and it's okay if not everything works out. You'll find the things that do. So test, 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 and then really track your results.
Let me give you the dealer's view of key takeaways. Looking at who you are, and all you want to do is use that 30 seconds to drive a Google review. You want somebody to Google you. That's all I'm trying to do in my ads now. It's designed to get somebody to roll on Google, and then hire somebody like L2T to do all this for you. So when she tells you to do this stuff, you really shouldn't do it yourself. Don't play with the things, you'll get hurt. We don't belong in that world, in my opinion. It wasn't until I got with these experts that I really understood how to take what we did, which was pretty good, to the marketplace and make it convert into dollars. And I think that's important. Take that back to your store as a dealer. If you're a manager, take back to the store that we need to find out who the right partner is.
Now what you have to do is be smart enough to monitor the partner with the dials that I showed you. However dials you want. How many ups are we generating? How many leads are we generating? How many phone calls are we generating? That's your job. That's what you hold them accountable for. And if they don't do it, fire them. But if they do it like these guys have, then give them the latitude to spend more money. And that's all we do. When we get on a phone call, we say, Dave, we got an idea. It's going to do this, 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 and this. I miss all the beginning of it. And then they say it's going to cost you $8,000. I said, great, go ahead and do it. And if the $8,000 doesn't work, then we stop doing it. But so far, every $8,000 has worked well. So as you see my budget count back up, these guys are creating more sales for me. That's the hooked on phonics key takeaway.
Because a lot of times I walked out of these meetings going, I don't know what these people are talking about. I got the takeaways, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know how much time we have. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So the question was, is the 4 cents per view and the impressions that it drew, which this mic. So that was actually all paid YouTube. So all TrueView YouTube. The budget was, I think it was around
13,000?
not even 16,000 for the entire quarter. For the quarter. Good question. I don't know. We had no. Any other? There was
Yeah,
one other
right here.
question.
Yeah, they handle all my social media, the Facebook marketing as well, right?
Yeah. So we haven't moved over to Facebook yet, but that's actually one of the things that we're working on. That because the first step was to maximize the YouTube platform, especially with the partnership with Google too. And then yes, absolutely, Facebook is on the horizon for, after we finish some of the testing that we're doing right now on YouTube. Facebook is definitely the next step. I mean, we've been talking about that most recently. But absolutely, I mean, if you're doing a video strategy, it should ultimately be doing not only on YouTube, but then you should also have it on Facebook. In addition to that, just even organically too, to ensure that those videos are on the website so that you can use it for that really strong search engine optimization.
And we should also say that they do a lot of video for me and getting the video out there via YouTube. It's not direct pre-roll. And community stuff we do tonight, that bell, 18,000 people will be there to see me ring the bell, but they'll get it out to 1 million people within a week, the video of all that. We'll be videoing it tonight just for that reason, because it raises the brand, and their job will be to get it out there. It won't be selling cars necessarily, but is it selling cars? Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just got the Knicks from, so if you guys do have any more questions, we are going to be available at 423, at booth 423 if you want to stop by. Some of our friends here will be there too, so please feel free to stop by. Thank you so much for joining us.